prescribed by a definite emotion. But a daughter! Oh, ye gods! Your whole sexual angle of vision changed. A creature neither fish, flesh, nor fowl. Non superior, non contemporaneous, non subservient. Just a lady. A strange lady. Yes, that's exactly it, Eve. A strange lady, growing eternally just a little bit more strange, just a little bit more remote every minute of her life. Yet it's so damned intimate all the time!" he blurted out passionately. "All the time she's rowing you about your manners and your morals. All the time she's laying down the law to you about the tariff or the turnips. You're remembering how you used to scrub her in her first little blue lined tin bathtub." Once again the flickering smile flared up in little Eve Edgarton's eyes and was gone again. A trifle self consciously she burrowed back into her pillows. When she spoke her voice was scarcely audible. "Oh, I know I'm funny," she admitted conscientiously. "You're not funny," snapped her father. "Yes, I am," whispered the girl. "No, you're not," reasserted her father with increasing vehemence. "You're not. It's I who am funny. It's I who—" In a chaos of emotion he slid along the edge of the bed and clasped her in his arms. Just for an instant his wet cheek grazed hers, then, "All the same, you know," he insisted awkwardly, "I hate this place." Surprisingly, little Eve Edgarton reached up and kissed him full on the mouth. They were both very much embarrassed. "Why, Eve!" stammered her father. "Why, my little girl! Why, you haven't kissed me before since you were a baby!" "Yes, I have," nodded little Eve Edgarton. "No, you haven't!" snapped her father. "Yes, I have," insisted Eve. Tighter and tighter their arms clasped around each other. "You're all I've got," faltered the man brokenly. "You're all I've ever had," whispered little Eve Edgarton. Silently for a moment, each according to his thoughts, sat staring off into far places. Then, without any warning whatsoever, the man reached out suddenly and tipped his daughter's face up abruptly into the light. "Eve," he demanded, "surely you're not blaming me any in your heart because I want to see you safely married and settled with John Ellbertson?" Vaguely, like a child repeating a dimly understood lesson, little Eve Edgarton repeated the phrases after him. "Oh, no, Father," she said. "I surely am not blaming you in my heart for wanting to see me married and settled with John Ellbertson. Good old John Ellbertson," she corrected painstakingly. With his hand still holding her little chin like a vise, the man's eyes narrowed to his further probing. "Eve," he frowned, "I'm not as well as I used to be. I've got pains in my arms. And they're not good pains. I shall live to be 1,000. But I might not. It's a rotten world, Eve," he brooded, "and quite unnecessarily crowded, it seems to me, with essentially rotten people. Towards the starving and the crippled and the hideously distorted, the world, having no envy of them, shows always an amazing mercy. And beauty, whatever its sorrows, can always retreat to the thick protecting wall of its own conceit. But as for the rest of us," he grinned with a sudden convulsive twist of the eyebrow, "God help the unduly prosperous and the merely plain. From the former, always, envy like a wolf shall tear down every fresh talent, every fresh treasure they lift to their aching backs, and from the latter brutal neglect shall ravage away even the charm that they thought they had." "It's a rotten world, Eve, I tell you," he began all over again a bit plaintively. "A rotten world. And the pains in my arms, I tell you, are not nice. Distinctly not nice. Sometimes, Eve, you think I'm making faces at you. But believe me, it isn't faces that I'm making. It's my heart that I'm making at you. And believe me, the pain is not nice." Before the sudden wince in his daughter's eyes he reverted instantly to an air of semi jocosity. "So, under all existing circumstances, little girl," he hastened to affirm, "you can hardly blame a crusty old codger of a father for preferring to leave his daughter in the hands of a man whom he positively knows to be good, than in the hands of some casual stranger who, just in a negative way he merely can't prove isn't good." "Oh, Eve, Eve!" he pleaded sharply. "You'll be so much better off out of the world. You've got infinitely too much money and infinitely too little self conceit to be happy here. They would break your heart in a year. But at Nunkonono," he cried eagerly, "oh, Eve, think of the peace of it! Just white beach and a blue sea and the long, low, endless horizon. And John will make you a garden. And women, I have often heard, are very happy in a garden. And—" Slowly little Eve Edgarton lifted her eyes again to his. "Has John got a beard?" she asked. "Why, I'm sure I don't remember," stammered her father. "Why, yes, I think so. Why, yes, indeed, I dare say." "Is it a grayish beard?" asked little Eve Edgarton. "Why, yes, I shouldn't wonder," admitted her father. "And reddish?" persisted little Eve Edgarton. "And longish? As long as—" Illustratively with her hands she stretched to her full arm's length. "Yes, I think perhaps it is reddish," conceded her father. "But why?" "Oh, nothing," mused little Eve Edgarton. "Only sometimes at night I dream about you and me landing at Nunkonono. And John in a great big long reddish gray beard always comes crunching down at full speed across the hermit crabs to meet us. And always just before he reaches us he trips on his beard and falls headlong into the ocean and is drowned." "Why, what an awful dream!" deprecated her father. "Awful?" queried little Eve Edgarton. "Ha! It makes me laugh." "All the same," she affirmed definitely, "good old John Ellbertson will have to have his beard cut." Quizzically for an instant she stared off into space, then quite abruptly she gave a quick, funny little sniff. "Anyway, I'll have a garden, won't I?" she said. "And always, of course, there will be Henrietta." "Henrietta?" frowned her father. "My daughter," explained little Eve Edgarton with dignity. "Your daughter?" snapped Edgarton. "Oh, of course there may be several," conceded little Eve Edgarton. "But Henrietta, I'm almost positive, will be the best one." So jerkily she thrust her slender throat forward with the speech, her whole facial expression seemed suddenly to have undercut and stunned her father's. "Always, Father," she attested grimly, "with your horrid old books and specimens, you have crowded my dolls out of my steamer trunk. But never once," her tightening lips hastened to assure him, "have you ever succeeded in crowding Henrietta and the others out of my mind." Quite incongruously then, with a soft little hand in which there lurked no animosity whatsoever, she reached up suddenly and smoothed the astonishment out of her father's mouth lines. "After all, Father," she asked, "now that we're really talking so intimately, after all, there isn't so specially much to life anyway, is there, except just the satisfaction of making the complete round of human experience? Once for yourself, and then once again to show another person? Just that double chance, Father, of getting two original glimpses at happiness? One through your own eyes, and one, just a little bit dimmer, through the eyes of another?" With merciless appraising vision the starving youth that was in her glared up at the satiate age in him. "You've had your complete round of human experience, Father!" she cried. "Your first full, untrammeled glimpse of all your heart's desires. More of a glimpse, perhaps, than most people get. From your tiniest boyhood, Father, everything just as you wanted it. Just the tutors you chose in just the subjects you chose. Everything then that American colleges could give you. Everything later that European universities could offer you. And then travel. And more travel. And more. And more. And then love. And then fame. Love, fame, and far lands. Yes, that's it exactly. Everything just as you chose it. So your only tragedy, Father, lies, as far as I can see, in just little me. Because I don't happen to like the things that you like, the things that you already have had the first full joy of liking. You've got to miss altogether your dimmer, second hand glimpse of happiness. Oh, I'm sorry, Father,